All right, so that's me. Okay, so just to give you a bit of a brief background, for those in Zoom, just wait for a while. Well, I start my day with exercising. It's recently very, very hot in Singapore, so it's tough to exercise in the morning. All right, but I did my morning exercise. I'm probably going later on in the afternoon again. And then during the day, I will usually be looking at Singapore market. And then, for example, just about last week, I wrote about Yang Zijiang in another forum. And today it moved up because of the orders of from Vietnam. Then yesterday I talked about Meituan. So yes, I'm doing the Hong Kong market. And then the FX, the indexes. And then at night, I'll be doing the US market. Maybe you ask me, why am I doing all this? Because I had a chat with my sister yesterday. So she's in the US and she's trying to come back because not because she doesn't have a job, but because I think that she's too tired about corporate life. And then she said that, why don't I manage a portfolio? I said, okay, give it to me. I probably can give you about 60% per annum return in your portfolio. She said, wow. Then she said, but I don't have a lot of money. And I asked her how much she has. She said everything all stuck inside the property already. Okay, fine. All right, that's a good thing. All right, so at night I will do the US market. Okay, I'm mainly a 4-hour trader. 4-hour trader means that I trade 4-hour, and then I trade day as well. Okay, but what I'll also do is, yes, because I love the market, I love to leave a legacy. That's why I have 2 courses with me. They're all from what I've gathered from the market. And then I do about 7 coaching sessions a week together with me and my trainer. And I love automations and I develop automations. Okay, so for those in Zoom, all right, you are now able to see my screen. I know that this is my usual, introduction, so bear with me for a while. And this would be the session, okay, the webinar sessions. You can see it's 7 sessions a week. So I'm doing the one on Tuesday, daytime, and then nighttime, and Wednesday afternoon here, and Thursday 4:30. So today is a Thursday 4 market. So let's start off with questions you might have. Okay, questions you might have. Okay, you can put your questions both in YouTube and in Zoom as well. I'm able to see your questions. If it's a little bit blurry, then it might be because the streaming quality, you might want to reload. All right, I'm streaming this time now via OBS. I hope that this is going to be better. If I don't retry this, okay, if I don't get a better solution, then we're just going to wait. Now the first stock that I'm going to cover, if you do have questions, all right, let me know. But usually I would point out the stocks that I'm interested in, all right? And then the students will ask me questions, etc. Okay, of course that because you are entering into our hand-holding, all this concept, it's going to be strange to you, all right? It's fine. If you join my course, then it won't be strange to you. Okay. If it's a blur, maybe you want to go inside our Facebook stream. All right, so we have Facebook stream also. I think that John can give you the link to the Facebook stream. All right, okay. UNH, okay, let's focus into Apple. And of course, we are doing a lot more into FX and then indexes, but I just wanted to talk about Apple here. Okay. The reason why is because previously I've discussed quite a fair bit on the other stocks already for the US CFDs, right? But this Apple is interesting. 100 shares, one lot, yes, but it's essentially 100 units. You go to 100 shares, okay? Now, but if you take a look at Apple, what I usually would do is I would go to the higher time frame chart, okay, to start off the analysis with the stocks. So if you take a look, generally, this is an uptrend. Okay, so how do I determine an uptrend? I don't usually actively use moving average, but then I just plot each of the turning point, and if this is like higher high, higher low, so this is a higher low as you compare to the previous low, and these are making higher high. So generally, to me, this is an uptrend. So in Apple case, we are still bullish in Apple. Okay, but when it comes into trading, okay, that's where we start to fine tune a little bit, and then by fine tuning, we are able to trade in between the space. Okay, what is in between the space, right? It means that, let's say, for example, we identified that this place here as a resistance. We can initiate a sell until this level here, which is essentially a support level. So in between the space here, we probably have a 210, which is a resistance, and then a support at 195. Okay, so that's one way to look at it. Now, the other way is that I like to color code a lot of my trades. And the reason why I bring in Apple was because previously, if you have been following me, all right, then you know that for the orange line, it's where we are looking for a long. Okay, we are looking for long if price is above the orange line. Well, so Apple was in this temporary downward movement. Okay, so this was that temporary downward movement, right? With a high here and a low here and a lower high. And this is a lower low, and then this is a lower high, okay? And then this is a lower low, all right? Can all of you see this temporary price movement? Those in YouTube and those in Zoom. For my Zoom guys, they will know, okay? But for those YouTube, some of you are not my students yet, so you probably won't know, all right? But then you can see that this is the temporary downtrend. So we do have two types of trend here, right? One is on the week, which is showing up. The other one, which is the day that is heading down. Okay, now how do you reconcile these two? Okay, now always remember, if you want to buy, do you want to buy low or you want to buy high? You want to buy low, right? Now, in order to buy low, what must price do? Price must drop first in order for you to buy low. So if imagine that if this is the uptrend in the week, okay, so what must the day do? The day will go up, down, up, down, up. So if the day is already expensive, it must come back down to an optimal level, all right, for you to buy, okay, because that's where you are buying in cheap, all right. Now, if this is the case, then this is what the day is mapping here. So this is the day. The day is heading down at this moment here. All right. So what tech is interested to know is that tech is interested to know that based on this downward movement that we are seeing here, has it come to an end? Because we are, I mean, of course, that sometimes you're afraid of buying a falling knife because you might just buy here and then it just keep on going down, 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 down. And therefore, the wick will be turning down as well, right, later on. Okay, but it would be, after a while, because the thing is that the lower time frame, which is today, for example, will start turning down first, right? So what I wanted to do is I wanted to know that price had already gone up first a little bit, such that we can catch it before it starts bursting up. So that's the whole idea behind tech. Okay, so what tech does is to measure the trend mathematically. All right, so look at all these orange lines here. What this means is that Apple had a lot of resistance, and only when price can clear this level, which is the furthest away, the furthest orange line, that only then it can move higher. Okay, only then this downward movement will come to an end to show that it is reversing upwards. Okay, so what happened in the past was that there was a little bit of an attempt to close above it, but ultimately it didn't. All right, and hence this would be regarded as still a resistance level for Apple, with the furthest level being about 213 level, plus minus around here. Okay, now then what are these orange lines here? So each of these are regarded as a previous resistance, but since it's already broken, and it means that when it come back down, right, these would be seen as a support level. So this is the concept of resistance being broken upwards, and then when it come back down becomes a support level here. So it means you can see how well prices are reacting around tech. All right, so it hit this level, rebound, hit this level, rebound. Okay, so just to let you know what I did, right? So when it hit this level, I actually went long in Apple, because there are only two levels I'm interested to long in Apple, or rather three. One is here, which is not a very optimal level, because the optimal level will be here, right? Because it's the lowest orange level. Or the other way to long Apple is when it fully, truly breaks above it. Okay, so what I did was to long Apple here. All right, and then when price moved up, to probably consider to take a bit of a profit and hope that it can goes up. All right, or the other way is that for price to wait to come inside here, and then to wait for a long here. Okay, so these are the key levels in Apple. All right, key levels in Apple. Now the reason why all these are considered key levels in Apple was because of the higher time frame. Okay, I know that higher time frame looks a little bit messy, because then what I did, right, is to bring the lower time frame lines into the higher time frame. This is the multiple time frame, right? But essentially, if you take a look at this level here, this was a previous high of Apple. So these were the previous high of Apple. All right, and then price sort of like moved down. All right, and then exceeded that because of Trump comment on Apple and tariffs. And then after that, it went above it, got resisted, and then come back down. So Apple is really hovering in this area here with this key zone as the main resistance. And if price can close above this key zone, then we should be able to see the rebound in Apple. But if it doesn't, then this becomes the next optimal level for support. All right. Why I'm bringing this out and bring this key level? Because it's not profitable if we don't trade along and around key levels. Any other different levels is going to give us only a little bit of profit. So we need to find that optimal level to trade that. Okay, and that's the reason why I was long Apple here. Okay, so of course that you need tech to give you all this, but in any case, the objective is to guide you that why I am looking at Apple and trading in between this zone was also because of this key level here. Okay, and if it doesn't stay above it, all right, then the next key level for me to be interested in a trade in Apple would be at the 185 level. All right, okay. Thanks that we have people joining us from New Zealand. If you are from overseas and not Singapore, let me know. Type down. It would be wonderful to get to know all of you. All right, so that's Apple. Any question here? Okay, so temporary, I am bullish in Apple, but I'm taking note of this level here, which is this as the resistance level. Okay, all right. I know that you have various questions, and one of them is UNH, and the other one is it the US indexes? Okay, I don't see the US indexes. All right. Anybody interested in Hong Kong stocks? Because I also do Hong Kong stocks. I thought I want to just talk about it. No Hong Kong stocks? Okay. Because yesterday I was talking about one Hong Kong stock. Guys, can you remember which one? There seems to be a wash and rinse at the key level. Yes. It seems to go up and come back down, go and come back down, right? So really, for Apple to remain bullish, all right, then there is a need to close above this level because of the interaction at the higher time frame, which is around 209 or 209. Okay, yeah, I want to talk about Baba because Baba is something that's interested in. In fact, that I've just 2 days ago. I've just long into Baba. I explained to you why I long into Baba, but let me just talk about Meituan first. Okay, no, I don't trade after the earnings reports, but I tend to avoid the earnings. But for us, our system it's I won't say we are able to predict, but we are able to get to know a little bit more on the price action just before the earnings report. But usually you realize that before the earnings, the trade sort of play out already. But by the time that when the earnings come, it's not that impactful already, unless that it's out of expectation. Okay, now the reason why I wanted to talk about Meituan is this is a turnaround stocks. So just a bit of a background is that Meituan had wonderful earnings for the Q1, but then the CEO was talking about Q2 as not having a very good expect results because of intensifying competition. So in terms of delivery, which right now they term as instant delivery, so they aim to do this instant delivery within 30 minutes. And I'm actually seriously impressed because I spent 20 minutes to order Meituan, and I received the from the point I clicked the button to the point that they delivered the food to my hotel, that took like 18 minutes. I was seriously impressed because 18 minutes means not only the driver, but the speed that they prepare the food. Okay, so yesterday, the sort of like there was indication that Meituan instant delivery was doing very well for the 618 promotion. Right now, China, they have this 618 promotion. They also have new initiative in Hong Kong and in Saudi Arabia. But let's take a look at the chart here. So from the weekly chart point of view, as I said, right, for stocks, I like to go into the weekly chart first. Okay, we know that this is, and this has been on the lower low and the lower high. So this is clearly a downtrend. Okay, but what happened during last year was there was a turnaround, and then it made a higher high. So it has to do with the earnings of Meituan and blah blah blah. Okay, now then it started retracing, and this is the point where it got me interested. So as I explained to my community yesterday, I was interested because of the appearance of this orange line. I like to color code because it just gave me a very easy way to know what I'm looking at. Okay, so orange lines means that it is a resistance, but the fact that orange lines are appearing, it means that tech is able to calculate the key levels, and at this moment, if price can break above the orange line, it means that this is a bullish move. Okay, now the second reason why I'm looking at perhaps a bullish move is because if I were to draw from the start of this up move, right, and to project downwards using an equidistance channel, which I'm going to do it for you. That means I'm going to do that like this, and then up here, right? Then this means that it is at the bottom of the channel. So I could be looking at a buy around the bottom of the channel for a reversal trade, and then we aim for the mid of the channel. If mid of the channel, which is true, there was a resistance here, doesn't get resisted, then I could aim for the top. Okay, so I'm not interested to do breakout. I'm interested to buy only after it had retraced, because this would be, to me, the optimal level. Okay, not the safer, because there could be chance that it's going to head back down, but at least you are not buying at the high. So when you're not buying at a high, right, it adds a lot of confidence to you guys to hold on a position. All right, so same thing. Yesterday, I was telling the community that I'm looking at Meituan, and then the key level to look up for is 143.2, and I'm looking at a close above 143.2. This means that the tech, based on tech, right, the trend is starting to reverse. Okay, what trend? This downward movement, and then this downward movement will be starting to reverse as price clear each of that key level. So I'm interested only to trade the key levels, not the minor levels. Okay, so these will be the key level here. Key level here 161, key level 143 when you take a look at today. So today, right? So we got 142.9 as that key level predicted by tech. Okay, sorry, 143.2. Let me just shift that a little bit. 143.2. Suddenly my nose is very itchy. I don't know why. Okay, 143.2. And today we have a close at 144.4, right? As long as tomorrow or the day after, tomorrow, right, we start to see that price can consolidate around this 143.2. And even if it goes slightly a little bit, right, based on this high, it is okay. All right. And then if it consolidates a little bit here and ultimately move back up, and that's reassure the bullishness in Meituan to head towards this level here. So this is what we usually do, right? We usually trade on key levels, okay? And if you are doing on key levels, it is very, very good, especially if you are doing options, if you are, right? Because key levels allows us to make a lot of decision. And if you do one, do join me on the 18th of June session, because I'm going to share with you how to get M7s or any of the stocks, right, at a very cheap price. All right, and it has to do with all these key levels. Okay, now that's so far the update in Meituan, but if you want, you can turn on the volume to check the volume today. Okay, usually for tech, right, for us, our trade, right, comes much earlier before the volume will come in. Okay, the volume probably didn't suspect anything, and then probably the volume will only come in, right, if this top of this level here, the highest level, is broken. So take a look, all right, later on. If it's broken, we should see more volume coming in. But from tech point of view, this had already confirmed the bullishness in Meituan. Okay, any question here? Okay, so since we are in BYD, you can trade BABA in 8-cap as well. So since we're in BYD, and then some of you asked about BYD, let me just quickly go inside BYD. Okay, so BYD is also a trade, right, that I was looking at, and then a trade that I did, and I told the community about it. All right, and why was that so? Okay, so same thing, right? Do you see this? What is this one here as compared to the previous high? What is this? I know I'm asking a little bit of a stupid question, but I just wanted to test that, or rather to know that you are, what is it? Okay, what is this, guys from Zoom? Yeah, okay. Okay, so this is a higher high, right? And hence, if it and then this one is also a higher high. So this is a higher high. So this is a low, and then this is a higher low. All right. And as I said, right, we are doing mostly on color coding. Okay. So if you see Meituan here, there was a partial support, right, that was based on here, right, partial support, and that support didn't hold. So if this support didn't hold, then what happened? Then there are 3 more supports being predicted here, 3 of them. Okay, one of the last one, which is the optimal level, is actually 361. So this is the level here, 361. Okay, now what this means is that based on tech, it is predicting that this level is the optimal level. All right, if it should retrace down. Okay, because to me, right, I'm not interested to buy on the breakout. Okay, what I'm interested to do is that if this is a high, I wait for the higher high to happen. All right, and if this is the low, I wait for it to come back down to a low point. Then I will initiate a buy somewhere around here. Okay, so this is a lot more safer strategy, because if you observe, right, any price movement will always end up with up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay, so what is your dream as a trader? Your dream as a trader is to be able to buy here and then see that it rocket up. Am I right to say that? Yes, huh? So same thing, when it goes back down, you want to see that you catch that move and then it goes up. And if this is going to be the cycle, then what tech is doing right now is predicting that this is the optimal support level for you to consider a long. Okay, and of course that it went on the high, it went down, right? The reason why it came down here was because why? BYD cut the price of its car by 35%. Okay, so that was a bad news, right? Because if you really need to be that good, then you cut the price by 35%. But if you look at that, that is news to me. I mean, I look at price level, I look at trend, I see that down as a like a discount for me to buy at a cheaper price. Okay, so I saw this. It was very near to the support level here, and it was also very near to some partial support. And so when it came down here, I went to the lower time frame, which is the 1 hour, to plan an entry. And this is BYD at this moment, which again, that is being supported at this place here. So I'm not trading a very long-term movement. If I enter around here, I probably want to aim to exit somewhere around here or somewhere around here. Okay, and that it's quite good price already. I enter about 389, and then I'm like looking at 436 as a resistance level first, and then followed by this one here. Okay, all right, so that's BYD. All right, so let me just quickly move into Baba again, that you can trade Baba with 8 cap as well. Okay, all right, now today Baba went up, and the pre-market we can see that Baba is actually trading much higher. One thing I want to emphasize is always the need for a higher time frame. That means to take a look at a higher time frame. Now, if you do stocks, if you do FX, if you do gold, right, by flipping in a higher time frame, it gives you a lot of insights. Really, a lot of insights here. Okay, the reason being that there's a lot of hidden things, right, that you can't see in the lower time frame. Okay, now, if I might just turn off a little bit, right, of this tag first, but just go through, all right, in a higher time frame, what is showing. First, right, do you agree that this is a higher high? Yes? Okay. Second, if you see this as a low, do you agree that this is a higher low? Hence, do you agree that Baba is trend? Okay, very good. Now, but the problem is that sometimes, right, it just doesn't move nicely. Okay, meaning that, let's say, for example, we all know that this is a higher high, we know that this is a higher low. It should move like down, up, down, but we can't help, right, if it goes up and it goes and then inside and then it all mess up, but ultimately it still go higher. Okay, so this is something that we cannot help. But there is always a reason why all this action, what happened. Whether you call it kings or whether you call it any other names, but there is always a reason why all this happens, and it happens because of, key levels. Okay, yes, news will drive it down, but news will drive it to a key level where people are interested to pick it up again. Okay, so this is what news is all about. All right, so even if, unless that we have a fundamentally bad stocks, all right, and nobody is interested to pick it up at key level, but you realize every time when news happen, it drives price to a level faster than we want to if it just move naturally. Okay, just give it a bit of push, right? So few things to take note of Baba. Number one is that if you take a look at this whole chunk here, okay, all right, so it means that there was a resistance here, and then price broke, and then came back down, and then this becomes a very interesting area. Okay, but when you turn on tag, as I said, right, this becomes an interesting area, but when you turn on tag, it gives you a different perspective. Okay, what perspective does it give it to you? Now, see this green line here? Now this green line is a support level in the weekly time frame. Okay, it means that it measures into this trend here and identify itself as the, how to say, it identify itself as the optimal level. Okay, all right, optimal level, right, for you to buy in line to this uptrend. Do you agree? For those who are in my lesson, you understand the importance of this green line here, right? It means that in order for you to buy into, let's say, Baba, you want to find an optimal level, because as I say, right, price goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down, right? What that gives you is the optimal level to buy. So if you take a look at the green line here, it is the optimal level to buy Baba. Okay, so we had an over exaggeration. That means that price moved down here and it overshot, but still it kept around this optimal level. Okay, still. Okay, then price moved up, and then what happened? It moved back down here and it retested that optimal level, which is about 110.67. Okay, all right, explain when we long and breaks above the orange line. Yeah, later on, let me just talk about this one. Okay, because what I did, right, is I brought tag into the if I keep the day to the day and I don't bring it there, then we don't have that orange line, right? I only put the green line here, you see? Okay, so it's less confusing because I overlaid that, right? So in this case, this would be the point where this is the optimal level for long, isn't it, Valerie? All right, is that clearer now? Yeah. Okay, so when you go to the higher time frame, this level here, 110, or sometimes it just missed a little bit, but generally the level is there, right? Yeah, maybe 112, 11 something, right? Is that key level? And you mark it in the day, all right, you realize that, price had a reaction here. It had a reaction, which is the hammer. Okay. We have the hammer here, right? So what happened was we enter here, this space here, and we go into the lower time frame to fine tune a trade such that you're able to enter somewhere mid of this bar. Okay, so Baba, to me, it's bullish. It is a chance, all right, where you can't find this level. It's not easy to find this level, but if you have tech, it's totally relevant to have this level to guide you to say that this is a long. Okay, Ken? Any question here? So if you have tag, you're going to have this level as indication. And then you wonder why there's things like your hammer, etc. But Baba, I think it is bullish. Okay, any question? So you asked me where it might go to, and I think that probably we should be able to see this level here, or maybe at the high of this level. I don't know, but then to me, it's a confirmation at the higher time frame. This is the key level here. Okay. Ken? Good. Okay, do let me know your questions. Okay, now, I mean, earlier there was we talked about UNH already, and I know that it's cheap if you are looking at is a 30%, is a like 50% discount. All right. But look, if you are coming from tech point of view, then what is this? This is a resistance. And it means that price had gotten below the resistance. To me, what tech is saying is that starting from this point here, if this is an uptrend, the whole entire uptrend is now gone. And I wouldn't be looking at the stocks here. Okay, I'm not sure whether it is a long or this is a short. But if it's a long, then it's below the resistance level. Okay, all right. So if you are with, let's say, trading in 8 cap, you could trade a lot of different CFDs. Okay, and then of course they don't have the Hong Kong. I'm not sure whether they have Hong Kong, but they do have BABA CFDs. They have US stock CFDs. They have a lot of different CFDs, and I do trade the CFDs, and theirs is really cheap. They don't have this fixed price, like fixed price, such as they charge like $6 or $10 or $20 per trade. So what they measure is via the number of units that you buy. Okay, so you can buy like 1 unit of CFDs, and then per direction, all right, per site, that would be 2 cents. Okay, 2 cents USD. Okay, any other questions? As I'm talking, the guys in gold, in trading in gold, is just talking about it. Anybody interested in gold? Because gold so far is the best performing trade for us, and I want to talk about it because this was something that we discussed about gold. Okay, just as a show of hand, for those in YouTube, for those new to us, are you mostly in stocks, or you just trade around between the different instruments like FX, stock shares, and then gold as well, crypto as well? What's your trading interest? What's the instrument that you are trading? Okay, trend, shares and FX. Okay, there is no how do I say? For us, we don't differentiate. I do, low hanging fruits. So gold is my favorite. Okay, some of you will know that. Yeah, anything that makes money. Some of you will know that earlier I did into BTC. So the entry of BTC was like that. All right, and I actually took out the position on BTC already. In any case, that if you're interested, then what tech is predicting, all right, is that this is the support of BTC. Okay, so we are aiming at this level here on the day time frame. Of course, in the lower time frame, then we do have other levels coming in, but on the day time frame, this is the major support level, 9764, blah blah blah. Okay, plus and minus around this level here. Why I'm also showing off in tech, because this is like 20 years of my experience, maybe like 20 plus 30 years, and then I've been trading off this, and finally just about 2 years ago I decided to quote it, okay, and make it known to the world, because I reached a stage where I'm afraid that if I'm gone one day, then this set of knowledge, right, will be gone forever, because it's really, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but to me it's really very profitable to me. So I wouldn't want to trade anywhere. Okay, I just want to trade this level here. All right, so this is my level, but of course if we go to the 4 hour, we do have different levels. Okay, we do have different levels here. Like for example, if it's below all this green line, we know that it's actually coming down. Okay, because the support are all gone. All right, and then if let's say for example BTC doesn't hold this level here, that means that it doesn't stay supported at 104.51 because this support level, it doesn't hold, right? All these are predicted levels. If it doesn't hold and if it's below it, then we are likely going to see it drop further to the level that I wanted, which is this level here. Okay, so this is how we look at it, right? So let's take a look at gold here. Now gold, we traded off all these levels. You can see how accurate it is, but what is more interesting is the 4-hour level for us. Okay, 4-hour level. Earlier, let me just do a little bit, all right? And I really also want to bring into the idea of buying low. Okay, I know that, you know, like buying low means like catching a falling knife, but it really depends on the technique, and it makes a lot of, how to say, makes your heart feel better and more at ease and peace, right, when you are buying low, but not to catch a falling knife. Okay, so I just roll back a little bit and to show it to you what happens here, and I need you to focus on the set of orange lines. Okay, the set of orange lines, essentially they are resistance level. What they are doing here is that they are saying that, okay, now this is down, right? Okay, how do I know that this down has ended? Okay, only if it can close above the set of orange lines, the furthest one. Okay, so what it did was that it closed above it and then it retraced back in to give us a buying opportunity. And if you see what happened, it's up. All right, so this is how the orange line is helping us in all this trade. Now, same thing, right? What I need you to do is that if this is going up, you will only buy when it's actually coming down. Okay, why? Because I need to see that this is an impulse movement. There is some form of a bullishness happening, and then after the bullishness, we only buy when it retraces to give you a discount. So there is a difference between buying at a low and catching at a low versus buying at a discount. So it's buying at a discount here for us. Okay, so same thing. If you were to take a look at what happened, watch out for that orange line. Okay, do you see this orange line? Okay, I want to just, do you see the orange line showing here? So same thing, close above, retrace back down, the set of orange lines here. Okay, so every time we want to buy at a low. Okay, now what is happening here is that yesterday or the day before, I can't remember already, on Tuesday, right? So we were looking at price broke above the orange line and then price make a higher high, and then these would be the levels which are the support for us to buy. Same thing, right? We want it to go back down to each of the support level, and it hit very nicely the support level and rebounded. Okay, now where's the orange line? It has to do with the lower time frame. That means that we can trade in 1 hour or 15 minutes to find that orange line, right? But what is happening right now in gold here is not the orange line already. It's another set of lines. We talk about this level here, which is the red color line. So what is the red color line, right? The red color line means that this whole structure, if it's above the red color line, okay, that means this structure would confirm broken to head higher, okay, like that, to head higher, as long as price stay above the red line. Okay, why is it orange? Why is it red, right? It has to do with time frame. The orange is a 1 hour level, the red is a 4 hour level. Of course, the 4 hour level is a much higher time frame levels, and that's much more important. All right, so the fact is that it is not going below the red line here, which is 35.7. Now this means that gold is, to us from tech point of view, bullish. Okay, so see this as a high and then it retested inside. So what we need to do is to find any opportunity, if it can come back down a little bit, and then to hit up, or any of the retracement where you go to a lower time frame to find the orange line to enter again. So this 33.57, all right, is the key level here. But sometimes, right, it might just be a little bit naughty and then come back down to test this again. But all these are all the support level. But 33.57 should be holding very well in this case here. So that is the key level. Okay, just remember what tech does is not only to give you the levels, but it does gives you which pattern it is breaking. Okay, that means that it track different trend and it let us know which pattern we are breaking. Okay, all right. One good news out for you guys is that I'm working to refine tech. It will come out as even more powerful, such that whenever there is a let's say for example something that breaks above the orange level, you will draw an arrow here and you can see very clearly everything happening. Okay, all right. Now, any question before I move on to the next part? Just make sure that I've covered everything. And I think that my guys are trading the silver. Okay, the silver is really a catch-up trade. Just in case that you are not monitoring the silver is breaking 80H all-time high. Okay, the silver finally gaining traction. Finally, okay, so the guys in the room, they are trading silver. All right. Again, that it took a long time for that breakout and for the momentum to start. But for us, for the day time frame, the higher time frame, tech has been, look at the orange line, right? So what happened was that price broke above and then been above the orange line, been hovering at the orange line for as long as whatever. Okay, so it's a very, how to say, long duration for this. But later on, when it broke, all right, and then when you go to the 4 hour, take a look at the set of red and orange lines that price cleared. And then you hover here, and then it right now clearing. So for the 1 hour time frame, look out for this level. Okay, at this moment, look out for this level. The level will keep changing as price moved. So you want to stay focused on this level and as well as the 4 hour support level if there's a retracement. Just remember, this is a break of an all-time high of silver, and then this pattern here is a pattern of at least 6-7 months. It started from November, all right, until now. Okay, but to me, it's it's an all-time high. Okay, it's gonna be in the news. A lot of people is gonna come in and have a look. So probably silver and gold again will be back into focus. All right, especially for silver. Okay, any question here? So for us, we trade low-hanging fruits because if you want to take a look at silver, because this is a cup and handle pattern, you want to call it an ugly cup and handle pattern, or you want to call it like double bottom. I don't think this is double bottom, but then this looks like an ugly cup and handle pattern. It's building the base